I'm delighted Davy Moyes joins us now.
Absolutely.
David, very good morning.
Good morning, Alan.
Morning,
good morning, Ray.
Good morning, mate.
Whoa, Davy, where do we start? Spain. Look, we were all gutted when it came to an end, and I got the feeling you really enjoyed it over there.
I did. It was a great experience, and for me, it was something. After I left United, I felt as if I had to do something different.
Yeah.
And also it was something in my ambition that I always wanted to manage or work abroad. So this chance came to go to Real Sociedad. I've got to say it was great. It was great getting to know the culture, the players, the styles. So many good things about it.
I remember you saying, if you've not been there, it's a beautiful place to live.
Oh well, I'm advertising it. It's a great place, San Sebastian. Anybody who's not been should take a trip. It's a great food, great wine, beautiful place to go.
Great food, great wine. I'm on a plane.
Cheap wine now.
I'm on a plane. What about, it was new to you, David, going in there. What about standards and language barriers and stuff? The language barrier, let's start there, because we'll come on to Gary Neville and Phil, of course, in a moment. But was that a big problem for you to begin with, or?
I didn't find it a problem at all. I've got to say I took 2 Spanish lessons a week. I really enjoyed it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. It was great. And it was done by the club. It was the club who organised it. And I loved learning it, because as you get older, to try and take on something new is great. So I'm going to try and keep it going as well now. Was
there no Spanish lessons in Drum Chapel all those years ago?
none at that time. So it was great. I've got to say the players were fantastic.
Aye?
The players, their attitude to work, they would never blink at any work has to do. They'd train at any time in the day.
Did you change that? Did you go in and do what you'd done at Everton or Man U, or did you stick to the routine?
It was interesting, because when I went there, they said, we train at 11 o'clock in the morning. And most of the clubs I've been at have been 10 o'clock or 10:30.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll wait and see how this goes. I'll see if... Actually, what it's to do with, in Spain, in general, people know this, is they eat lunch between 2 and 4. And the place completely shuts down. We would see it as siesta. Over here we call it siesta. They have lunch. So the players actually trained at 11. Everybody ate lunch together at 2 o'clock. And then the place sort of fired up again after 4 o'clock. So it was an interesting thing.
They slept at the training ground, did they?
The players could stay at the training ground. The players would be there sometimes at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We were kicking them out the door some nights, the players.
Wow.
So it was...
That's
for
very
me...
foreign,
so
very foreign.
There's no Corals or Ladbrokes out there, no?
Not many, but there was a few still liked a bet, Al, I can tell you that.
Was there?
Oh, there was Carlos Vela very much was always checking it up, yeah. And we actually stayed, the training ground in San Sebastian is right next door to one, well, I think there's 2 or 3 racetracks in Spain, and it was right next door. So we used to go down to the racing quite regular, and the horses were stable just down the road as well.
David, what about budgets? Look, we know Barca and Real Madrid and maybe Atletico, and it's interesting what's going on at Valencia at the moment with the owner and who he's brought in, but in terms of budget, it's very difficult to compete against the big 2, maybe big 3.
Well, actually, people probably don't know that the biggest thing about Real Sociedad is they have their own philosophy, which is you have to have 14 players from your academy in your squad of 24. It's not that it all has to be Basque, but I'll tell you this, I don't know if there's a manager in the world or a club in the world who can get a level of success when you have to have 14.
Restrictions like that.
I don't think Bayern Munich or Chelsea or Manchester United could have 14 out their own academy to make you successful.
Yeah.
But what I will say, it was a great philosophy, because the boys get a chance. They've got a great youth set up, and boys do come through. But to get that number of players in your squad, 14 from your own academy, is really difficult.
Yeah.
That's a tough shout, 14.
Yeah, it's...
And you were saying to me outside, David, they don't come on board until they're 18, is that right?
Yeah. The things I've picked up from Spain, the knowledge I've picked up from Spain are small things which are different, like... my years at Everton, would have brought in apprentices or YTS, whatever you call them now, and scholars, I think it is now, at 16, and they do 2 years and maybe give them 1 year pro, and you would see how they go. In Spain, the boys don't come to the clubs to 18, and it was my early days in Spain. I was walking about saying, where are the young players? Where's the young boys training? And they were saying to me, what are you talking about? But they have a B team, and they have the first team, and actually when you get to 18, you're chosen, do you join the B team? And because they're in the second division in Spain, they play in second division 2B, I think it is, in Spain, and they have a squad of 24 players as well.
So they went about on a daily basis?
no young players about on a daily
Amazing.
basis.
So you couldn't actually use some of these guys to join in your training sessions, because when I was with Milan, we obviously had the first team section, but it was called the Primavera.
Yeah.
The younger boys would come in at the same time. They'd have to do the school in the afternoon, but they'd come in at the same time. But if we needed a couple, they would come across and join in, which basically happens at English clubs.
Well, what I could do is I could take any of the players from the B team down. And the good thing about the B team was the players were all under 23, but the majority of them were 20, 21, 22.
Yeah.
So actually, when you were calling a couple of boys down, they weren't just boys. They were actually men. They were ready. And for me, there was a lot of good things about it. I've got to say, I saw that side of it is different to what I've seen for many years here. And it's not that one's right or wrong, but it's to compare to see if there's anything I can take from it.
What about Premier now, and especially, come the start of next season, the money that the clubs have got again through international football, television rights and so on. Are we way behind, David, or are we in front? I'm talking about setup, I'm talking about training grounds. Don't get me wrong, Real Madrid, I'm sure Barcelona, Bayern Munich are fantastic, but, the other sides in Spain, are we well equipped here in the Premier?
Well, certainly on facility-wise, we're miles ahead of Spain. Even things like sports science were much further ahead. But you've got to remember, Spain's probably been the model we've all been following for years. Barcelona have probably been the best club side for years.
We've ever seen that.
Spain, probably their national team have probably been the side which have been the best over sort of the last decade. But there's other parts of it, the kick-off times for the games, when the games are arranged, they're really late, the planning. So there's lots of things on that side which aren't so good. But I've got to say, it was great to get close to the likes of Messi and Ronaldo more often, because no doubt they are the best teams at the moment. They've got the best teams, and many of them have got the best players.
Yeah.
Ese amor llega sin esta manera, no tiene la culpa. Caballo le dan sabana, porque muy despreciado, por eso no te perdono llorar.